Sometimes on the papers, what we have is pick me, pick me, pick me, but we have to pick one of them. And the major story we'll be picking, it's all about the PDP saga still in, maybe on the table, for lack of a better word, to say the issue has been ongoing and is still biting hard. And that's something we are going to check out on this very segment of newspaper headlines and analysis, where we check into the stories, the high points, the low points, and the major trends across the news platforms today. And we have the Punch newspaper with me, as well as many other papers, to go around and see the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And talking about governors versus NNPC is also a story that's making the front page the largest caption on that particular newspaper this morning. The Punch newspaper says tension rise over alleged $42 billion oil revenue shortfall. That is a big caption right on the Punch newspaper, as you can see this morning. And also the right top corner says PDP rages as Fubara joins APC. Adeleke shifts to Accord. Movement, defections, all of that in the news. We'll get into the conversation shortly. ECOWAS fears coup surge. Burkina Faso holds Nigerian soldiers. Also something we've been on for a while now. Reps summon ministers over budget underperformance. Another story quite worthy of read this morning. Vanguard newspaper is what I switch on to very quickly. And what is the Vanguard reporting on its front page this morning? It says airspace violations. That's talking, maybe we would say bilateral relations, so lack of communication between two countries, neighboring countries. Now, Nigeria, Sahel states differ over detained aircraft soldiers. And that's also the big story, as you can see on airspace violations on the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government limits bidders to 2 oil blocks. That is also in the world of business, something to check out this morning. Nigeria-US ties re-treasured robust. And that's another read this morning. Adeleke moves to Accord. Fubara joins APC. That's talking defection and party politics today. Kidnapping children lesser even than killing soldiers. That's coming from Gumi. Sheikh Gumi saying kidnapping children is lesser evil than killing soldiers. Anyway, we'll check into all of that. Insecurity is also making the waves on the Vanguard newspaper. It says box stops on your desk. Onaye con Sheikh Lemu. Can others tell Tinubu? And that is what we're going to check out this one. Now, let's get into the analysis proper with Afolami this morning. Joining us for this conversation. Hello, good morning to you, Afolami.
Good morning, my brother. It's good to be here again.
I mean, it's so good to have you in the studio. Many reasons I'm excited about this, because I love it when I see concerned persons, patriotic Nigerians, speak to the issue on the table, because it's our responsibility as much as it is the people in power. So let's get started with the story yesterday's being on in the news. Now, there seems to be the Nigerian army came out to say yesterday, especially about that situation, the fighter jet that was seized, and then 11 members of the Nigerian army that were detained in Burkina Faso. So the Nigerian army came out to say that it was just like it was an issue with the landing and all of that, that it was logistics. They
detected an issue while after leaving Lagos, and they had to make a stopover.
They had to make an emergency. So it wasn't pre-planned and all that. But, one of the statements released by the Burkina Faso, because we know it's also a junta-led military government kind of rule in the country. And we've seen also that Nigeria is so akin or so close to the ECOWAS. ECOWAS is also sanctioning every state that is doing that: Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and all of them. So we know that. So I think one of the release statements yesterday was that if this happens another time, that the Burkina Faso might be forced to use force on any kind of infiltration, because they might see it as a way of you trying to come and
infiltrate on them.
Exactly. Yeah. So the issue is still breaking. Now, Nigeria's Sahel states differ over detained aircrafts and then soldiers. Nigerian military aircraft violated Burkina Faso airspace. That's coming from the Sahelian states. Yes. That's what they're saying. And how France also helped Benin for a coup d'etat. That's also another story. But let's talk about this issue. How should we have done this better, especially the Nigerian army, instead of falling into this crisis? Is this something we could have managed or prevented?
Well, thank you for that wonderful question. Is it from my own angle as a Nigerian? I have seen it as a point where the Burkina Faso is being guided by their own territory. The guy there, as a military head of state, understood what politics is all about, and they also understand that the country is under ECOWAS, but because of their own determination to salvage their country, to free their people, according to them, they felt the military rule is better than the civilian rule. And so and you should understand that of recent we have a foil coup that was in Benin Republic,
yes.
and Nigeria was moved to that country to support the military and the democratic government there in order to foil that kind of the attempted coup. And you know, that is a signal to all other countries whose governments are being led by military rule. And now you have Nigerian fighter jets flying on approved over a particular territory, and in this case, the Burkina Faso. And you should understand that that alone may lead to they being very guided to say, come, there is something you are coming around here to do. It's just a simple mathematics. And that guy there is on ground. He has his guys on ground. The story we are hearing may be true, may not be true. But to me, I don't see that story to be true, because our country is trying to come up to be the leader or the giant African, the former known giant of Africa. They have done that of the Benin Republic. They see that the credit to them. They want to do what they felt they can do to other led military countries too. You know, if that continues, if Benin Republic succeeded in getting the military on board, Nigeria is not safe. That's the simple truth, because it shows that our neighboring countries are already being led by military rule. And of recent, we hear it either rumor or counterfeit. Nigeria had a coup of recent that was being foiled, and those guys involved were being arrested. And those coups were not just done on empty pockets. They were done being funded. Some people funded it. We just heard of the military that were being arrested. We don't know the name till date, but some people funded this particular coup. So who are the funding fathers who are bankrolling this particular case? So if this is not known to Nigerians, it is known to some top security people, and especially neighboring countries who understood that yes, Nigeria is on the verge of, you know, losing their democratic structure, and that they want also to guide their own led country. You understand? That is what is going on. And I love the way they sounded back to Nigeria to say, if peradventure the next time we discover this, we will not let it go without being taken care of properly. I think that is a good signal.
Okay, so let's talk party politics for one of time. I want you to speak on this issue. Speak to the issue of Fubara. It was, well, for some persons it was shocking. Maybe for some of us it wasn't really shocking.
No,
Fubara and then Adeleke. Adeleke to Accord, Fubara to APC. Yeah. What do you make of all of this?
Fubara should have gone to APC before now. I think one of the parts that was signed was that yes, we'll get you back, but you are coming back to us.
You think it's part of the part that was signed?
I think that part of the part, because at every time Fubara, after the coming back of Fubara, you will see him praising the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's saying even more than the Messiah, who have helped his government to have a stay and make him to come back to power. Yes, Fubara has seen it as a way of praising the president more. And you see, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I know, that have led government in Lagos State, that have run government as ACN-led leader, that have taken the Southwest to be ACN before they come back to APC. I know him to be somebody who will never be in power and like to have so many opposition like that. He's somebody who will do everything to make sure that there is no opposition at all. In Lagos, while he was the president, the governor then, he had sleeping parties, sleeping opposition. In fact, we can go to records to tell you that by the time he was a governor, he intentionally made some people to sit at the opposition to be as not only the party contesting. And we saw that. We saw that in the lives of PDP that was in Lagos at that time. We saw the way they moved from Lagos to Ogun State, from Ogun State to Oyo State to Osun State, and even to Edo State, ACN everywhere. So while the impeachment that led to the crisis in Cross River State that brought in a new interim administrator and take away Fubara, we not bring back Fubara without having to tell Fubara that we come bring back, you are going to join us. And that is the part. So when Adeleke is having such, the crisis in Adeleke's case was at the result of the convention. He has seen it all. You know, he has his own legal team who will have looked into all the crises. If he contested under PDP, what will be his case? It's very simple. His case will be that he will go to the court and face the wrath of the law concerning the convention that has been annulled, that has not been properly done, and that will let out, that will make him to lose his seat. So it's better you go to another party. And you know, the Adeleke, as I know, has seen it all. You know, concerning the party itself, APC, they already have a pocket of crisis in their own state. To now move to APC, for where the likes of Omishore is, and many others like that, that are trying to take over government, it's not going to be easy. A soft landing for Adeleke is the party he has found himself. And that party has always been a soft landing for so many people, because it was as a thought of Babasanjo when the crisis in PDP then was high, and Baba break out the accord. Okay, if you think you are powerful, this is another party. Go and make yourself. So you can see even in Oyo State here, we had it for our minister for power, and still minister for power, the Adilabu. When the party was in crisis, you found Accord as a party to go into as a soft landing party and contest. And you know, it will be surprising that somebody who lost that far could be given the ticket for minister for power. You can understand. So that is just the case. So I have seen it that Adeleke will not contest on the platform of PDP. Many people will not, if the crisis in PDP has not been resolved. Many people will not.
So let me try to put into context what you're trying to say. You've said that he acted on intelligence.
Yes.
But yes, briefly too, what is the possibility of him winning, especially in Osun State?
No, he's going to win. That is done today. Adeleke will come back winning this party
with Accord.
I'm telling you, the Accord is just the name. If it is if it is Accord that we look at, the people are looking at competency right now. Even the people in APC are having problem. Many people that will not be given the ticket will broke out into another party. And I want to tell you that many of them will still join Adeleke in that Accord party. It is just like Accord party will now be a constitution of all the PDP in Osun State. It's not only Adeleke that is going to Accord. It's not that he's going to start looking for who will be contesting under a particular ward or a particular constituency, who will be representing for a local government, who will be at the particular, you know, every of his cabinet are moving into Accord. And that makes it all. And for the people that are still struggling for APC, many of them will lose out and they will looking for where to go. He has made his own name, he has made his own record, he has played his part. The role at which the development at which Adeleke has put up in Osun State is there. And people will not forget the house salary case. They will never forget the crisis they faced under Aregbesola. Did they forget easily the one they faced under the government after Aregbesola? So it's a clear case. Leave the party apart. This is Adeleke contesting. And this is whoever they are bringing out from APC. Now it is done that Accord already have their own candidate. There is not going to be any so much primary. If there is going to be primary, it's going to be for a ceremonial primary. They know who their candidate is. If the APC is there to know who their candidate is. If PDP has known, the guy from PDP, Frayo, has a record too. So we're going to see personality more than party playing off in Osun State. All
right, that's taken. Before we move over from political politics very briefly, how does this play out between Fubara and Nyesom Wike?
Well, it's an accord. It's a resolved party. That is what Wike is looking for.
Because Wike is still in the PDP.
Who? Wike?
He said it just recently.
No, somebody said it too, that Wike was planted to destroy the party that he was.
So do you think it was planned?
I know. This is politics. A lot of game goes on in politics that we can see bear the normal highs. And that is the truth. Some people are being planted to go and infiltrate. Some are spy. Some are go there, contest, and come back. Look at what happened in Oyo State. The Minister for Power that was drawn into Accord and all his guys alongside with him. He lost the party. He lost the election. He's far below the second runner-up. The first runner-up, which is Teslim Falarin. But instead of Teslim, who lost under APC to be the minister, they picked him up. It's a way of divide and rule. Wike knew what he's doing. But you know, why I will not all the time pity this APC party, PDP party, and the Wike and stuff was that they were all alive when their party was drowning, and and then pulling down the party in the likes of Jonathan, Ebele Jonathan, while he was contesting there. The 5 group of people who brought down the party, who brought down the man, were the 5 group of people who were being beaten very, very well in this last election. And I love it. There's nothing we do that Kama will not speak on this. People want to see the Kama as a human being, somebody that will just appear to, it is the reflection of what you have planted.
What you have planted.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something that Nigeria is planting now. Senate approves Tinubu's request to deploy troops in Benin Republic. So there's been that claim. Some persons, well, let me just state also that community in the state of emergency, ECOWAS warns as coups insecurity deepen regional crisis, applauds Nigeria for foiling Benin coup attempts, and Burkina Faso did not ground NAF, and that's coming from NAF clarifying that. But yes, let's talk to the issue. Let's speak to the issue very briefly of the Senate approving Tinubu's request to deploy troops to Benin Republic. So the conversation has been that, do we have enough troops that can help foil attempted coup? That's one. So if we have that, why are those particular troops not able to salvage the whole insecurity situation in the country? So speak to that issue briefly.
But that is a very question that everybody wants to ask our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If we so much have these guys that we can take to Benin Republic to go and salvage coup over there and make sure that the country, Benin Republic, is safe, why don't we have them salvaging our insecurity in Nigeria? Why do we have our military men to come out boldly to tell us that over 1,000, over 10,000 youths they recruited into the army has vanished, and asking our youth to be prepared to come in by application or be forced to come in? Why? Why are we having this kind of people? Why do we have the kind of House of Assembly that will always want to raise up their hands and say they may have it in just to support Benin Republic to come in and to bring our military into that? Why? Why all this? It shows our leaders the kind of priority they are holding on Nigerians. It's not enough. It's not good enough. I personally, I want to believe that at this time it is going to be in record, so that when external forces come into Nigeria, to see Nigeria as a big African country that will not collapse, so that it will not become a problem on other countries, and they felt that they can come in. I want to believe that our president is putting up a good record that will come tomorrow. It will be that this is what led to other neighboring countries, especially foreign countries, coming down to Nigeria to salvage our insecurity without their consent, without taking into consideration that their sovereignty is not in this case. So I don't see why we're doing this. If those countries felt that the military-led government is what they will prefer, let them have it. We've seen what is going on in Burkina Faso and other countries like that. And if our country, we want to see continued democracy, that is our own cup of tea. So, for one, I'm not in support. Because that thing is not going for free. There will be money that will be also doling out for it. Nothing goes for free, my brother. The way they will mobilize, I was not very young when we mobilized for Liberia, for all these troops then. We know how much we invested into it. We know how much we do to put up these military guys. And let me tell you, even if they will go there, you cannot tell me that everybody that went there will come back alive. And in case anything happens, those ones that died on our own surface here, on our own ground here, what has been done to their families and friends? What has been taken care of? What has been family taken? We see so many videos. One of them, the wife was crying on the social media, asking for help, and nothing was done. And you want Nigeria youth to go and recruit to go and get into that kind of military? I don't understand. Why can't we just take care of our own land and mind our own business?
Yeah, you've made very valid point, especially if we have to count losses.
I'm telling you.
Even for this financial and then lives of people as well that we are putting on the ground. I mean, but again, I think if Nigeria is trying to be a leader in the African state, in the African system, I think it's not, well, maybe it's not too much of a price to pay, but we also have to deal with what we have that is currently, eating us very badly.
This leader that you call is another problem that is facing us. Are we leaders of Africa? Can we boast of the kind of security team that we have? Are we leaders of Africa? Are we really leaders right now? If you know the numbers of guys that leave this country, and you can see yourself the way they advertise on TikTok, telling you Venezuela, this and that, everybody come and work, come. Even if it is to be on farm, come and work. And we have farm here that we can't go there to work because of insecurity. Are we leaders? Are we just leaders because of we have the mouth? We can be on the social media, we can come before the mic and talk. It's not fair enough.
Yeah, let's speak to something happened just yesterday at the Senate level, and then Senate's condemning the abysmal rise in airfares, and someone, Minister of Fan and Airline, Festus Keyamo also, and some other persons were actually called because one ticket equals 5 months minimum wage. That's coming from the Senate president. So an average from Lagos to Abuja costs about 400,000 to 600,000 naira now.
Yes.
There's an increment. Well, they gave reasons, but some would say those are not tenable reasons. Those are just like excuses to make to extort people again, especially for the festive period. Now, the major highways are not so safe. People need to travel.
Yeah.
You can't stop people from going for their family, whatever, their reunion.
There is no
December.
festival again for this season. Who is going on? On road? Then you are getting there. Immediately you are leaving to your place. The nearest place to Oyo is Kwara. It's very dangerous. I have been to Eruku so many times. I know the place like I know my palm. My brother, it's dangerous to drive down. So if you don't, every state is now looking for an airline, an airport where people can flight. Yes. So that is where they are making their money now. Just like they destroy our educational system from the public to build up the private. That is what is that is my own opinion. That's what I'm seeing. Our insecurity on the road is making people to force themselves to go on. In short, the crowd for local airline is even more than the international airline. Because everybody, at least, you want to go to Abuja, you want to go to Sokoto, maybe you want to go to Kwara from Lagos, and it's becoming very dangerous for you to ply the road from Lagos to Ilorin. It's very bad.
So very briefly, just like you said, speak to the aviation ministry to help Nigerians at least.
Is it the aviation ministry?
Well, they were the ones that were summoned by the Senate yesterday.
What would they say?
They were the ones in charge of that.
The regulatory price, and they do it. They know that people will be shifted back to flights.
But owing to insecurity reasons now, I think that's a thing to think about.
And our railway line is not also very functioning. If a rail line can be hijacked, we saw it, and we heard the report after it that some people got millions of naira after being paying ransom to the Boko Haram guys. They got money. So what are we saying? This thing is the buck is still on the table of the president and his ministers. These are the people who could have come together to say this is what we want. If we can talk, if the military and this DSS can phone the guys in the bush to say, yeah, release, and they release. They could only release. Are they released on bare mouth? Are they released because they received the call? So if that call can go through and the call cannot be traced, and those guys that are released cannot be captured or arrested, then there is a problem. That is a problem. That is where the problem lies. So those guys, those ones that were fortunate to be released, were because of the trailing by or monitoring by the government. But what about those that were not known by the government? They were captured. So these are the problem. I want to believe that the aviation minister is not doing us well at a time like this. They should put their head together to see how we can kill insecurity. I mean, kill insecurity in Nigeria, so as to have everybody. Not everybody will have the money to fly to their villages. And if we continue to do this, then we are killing our culture, we are killing our tradition, we are saying goodbye to our homes, even when we have sojourned to look for what to eat.
Afolabi, thank you very much for joining us.
My brother,
You've made very valid points.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, we now switch focus to the big story. And you want to know what's on the big story? Please stay with us. After this break, we'll be back shortly.